Day 4 at Mitu will start with another foray out onto the flooded Rio Vuapes. The goal for today is to go upstream and try to find some areas with exposed rocks to look for catfish. But we have a backup plan. If we are not successful in the morning, we will return to Mitu and hike into the Cano Sangre, an area that should be interesting for fishing, orchids, and birding. As we head upstream on the Vuapes, it becomes more apparent that we are unlikely to find a shallow shoal of rocks. And even if we do, why would the fish be there when there is so much great habitat in deeper water? After a couple of miles, we did see a likely spot, so we pulled over and made a go at seeing if we could find some plecos.
Oh, there it is. Hey, there's a pleco rock.
Yeah, I see a few.
Pleco rocks.
Like we could lift them.
Had we been here 2 weeks sooner, or as it turned out, 2 weeks later, this rapid would have been too shallow to get our boats around, and we could have fished almost the whole span of the river. But today we are limited to just this small section. When trying to hand catch plecos, you need to remember that they do not bite, nor do they sting like a cory cat will, and that there really are not a lot of dangerous creatures under rocks in places like this. The most dangerous thing you're likely to come up with is a thorny branch or something. Plecos like their rocks, so you can usually corner them on the bottom of the rock, but they have to be there to begin with.
I saw it jump in there.
It is easy to see why a suckermouth catfish would like to be in these rocks. The cracks and crevices are perfect for them. But looking for them in this relatively calm water is a waste of time. There are probably thousands of them 100 feet away in the fast water, where the rocks also look just like these. I did find this pretty cool praying mantis though, so the stop wasn't a total waste of time. We decided to try up one tributary on the way back to town. The water in this stream was beautiful, black but relatively clear, but also very high and running fast. We found a very small side channel that was big enough to get the boat into, but also shallow enough for us to wade upstream into to see what we could find.
Yeah, that's a pretty stem.
Holy stem. It's like Disney World.
Now we need that one. First fish. Jeremy sees fish. I think this is it, guys.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Make it last.
He does have a place for a pistol, okay?
Yep. Trying to stuff my fish. Oh.
There's fish here. I see fish. They're kind of staged right here in front of these leaves. I bet if you went whoosh, you'd get something.
Nice looking stream, but no fish. I suspect that these upper sections are completely dry when there is no rain. We did find this very cool spider and a real bastard of a caterpillar. Here is one of the local creatures that will hurt you. If it even brushes against your arm, it will sting for an hour and itches the rest of the day. On the way out to the main river, we stopped at another downed tree to check for plants. I got an orchid, but not to bring home. That is illegal. The hotel has a living wall to plant it on, and the mango trees along the riverwalk are full of orchids, people stuck in them too. We aborted the trip on the river and returned to Mitu, and after a nice lunch at the hotel, we drove to the end of the road by the river to follow a trail out into the Cano Sangre. The first part of the trail goes through a residential area along the river, and everyone is very nice, except this dog. He was not very happy to see us.
It's palm oil.
Yeah, cool. Palm. African oil palm?
Looks exactly like the one in Africa.
This is an oil palm tree, the same plant that is a scourge of tropical forests around the world. These bunches of black fruit are where the palm oil comes from. Eventually, the trail moves away from the village and into the forest. This is a recreational area used by the local population a lot, so it is a well-worn path, and there is a bit of trash. But I have seen a lot worse than what we see here in the USA.
Lips flowers.
There you go.
This area has a lot of flowers along the trail, especially orchids. These lip flowers are not orchids, it's a shrub. This is an arboreal orchid species growing on the side of a tree. And this is a ground orchid with tall spikes with dozens of blooms.
They grow in the soil.
Yeah.
It's a ground orchid. I don't know what its name is. All the orchids grow.
Get your big net. Get your big net.
What is it?
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
See it?
It's underneath the palms.
There's killies in there. Its tail is sort of bent like this.
Like right there?
You can't? I didn't see it.
I got killies too.
Yeah, there's someone with that palm tree.
Look at the bromeliad in the back. The striped, variegated one on the ground.
Oh yeah. There's killies there. I saw one.
It's not fishing anyhow.
I see a killie. Here, let me, here, here. Film me, I'll get him. I see him. I actually see the fish. No, I don't see him, but I'm going to try anyway. Yep, got him.
Sure as shit. Oops.
Killie?
Edit that out. Female.
Nope. Grab a good little bag of water so you can start looking for male.
And this is a clear cut, probably for lumber and fuel wood for the town of Mitu. Probably not a huge area that's going to be used for grazing. Quite possibly, it's mostly going to be used just for agriculture.
So this has all been cut down, but it's been used to plant manioc. And this is manioc. So they slash it, they burn it. And do they actually plant a tuber, or is it a seed they plant?
I think they plant a root, a tuber.
A tuber?
I believe I've heard that.
Tapioca. Manioc.
Yeah. So then, when they've cut a patch like this for manioc, how long does it last? How long will this patch bear manioc?
These plants will be fully grown in a few months. And I'd say in less than 6 months they'll have huge foot-long tubers underneath it.
So once they harvest them, can they plant this area again with manioc, or they'll cut something else and do it again?
Yes, they can replant it.
Okay.
After the clear cut, the forage starts to get denser, the trail starts to head down the hill, and we can hear water in the distance.
We're heading down. Down is good. And we're still heading down. Yes, I do hear water ahead. Loud water. Rushing, refreshing, lovely water. Cano Sangre. Now there's birds. Welcome to Cano Sangre. Wow.
The Cano Sangre is a very pretty stream, but not very fishy. We worked the area pretty thoroughly, but even snorkeling in the deeper pools does not turn up many fish. We did manage to find some cichlid fry, which grew up to be some type of aquidin species. Other than that, this entire day only found a single headstander species, one adult male Epistroma personata, a single Calichthiid catfish type, and the killifish that we found along the trail out to the Cano Sangre. Unfortunately, not every day is great for fishing. You take your chances when you're exploring new areas, but we saw lots of nature and we had a good time, and tomorrow is another day. Thank you for watching this episode of the Colombia series on Ted's Fish Room. This particular trip took place in the January of 2018. The original trip took place in December of 2016, and that is documented in the Colombia 2016 series, which I'll leave a link to that playlist at the end of this video if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it and want to go back and see it again. We have made 4 trips down to Colombia. If you had asked me at the end of that first trip in 2016 how many times I thought I would go back to Colombia, I think I might have said, oh, maybe once, maybe twice. But honestly, it is the one thing that I look forward to the most every year is going on my annual trip to Colombia. If you're not traveling and seeing the world, I highly encourage you find a way to make that happen. It is not as expensive as you think. And if you would like some help in planning a trip to Colombia, please let me know. Hernando, our guide down there, and myself, we'd be more than happy to help you and your friends get down to have some of these experiences that I've had. If you like this format of the Colombia series, where it is a kind of a travel log day by day, please let me know that in the comments. I'm also considering changing the format up, and I'm thinking about, instead of going travel log day by day, taking a whole week's worth of a trip to Colombia and condensing that down into the highlights of maybe one 30-minute or 40-minute video. Please let me know which of those you think that you would prefer. I hope that you enjoy the content that I put together for Ted's Fish Room. If you do, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you get notified when I put new videos up. And please, please share your experiences with my content with your friends and get the word out. I'm hoping to grow this channel a little bit, but I can't do that without your help. So thank you very much for watching Ted's Fish Room.